Hi students, you are listening to an e-lecture on the reasons for the Korean War. In this e-lecture, we will be discussing the role of the Korean leaders and how they played a part in the outbreak of the Korean War. Firstly, let me provide a quick background to the Korean War. Now, Korea had been part of the Japanese Empire since 1910 until Japan surrendered in 1945. The Japanese rule opposition was not tolerated in Korea, and any industrial development during this period was for Japan's benefit. As a result, the Koreans resented Japanese rule and wanted an independent Korea after Japan's defeat in World War II. As the defeat of Germany and Japan was imminent, the Allied powers met at Potsdam in Germany to discuss what to do with Korea after the war. The Allied powers agreed to divide Korea into two occupation zones along the 38th parallel. The Soviet Union would occupy the north, while the USA occupied southern part of Korea. However, both powers agreed that Korea should eventually be unified in the near future. However, the USA was worried of communist influence expanding to the whole of Korea. Now, the USA, with the help of the UN, called for free elections to be established in the government of Korea. However, the Soviet Union and North Korea refused. So elections were held in the south, and Syngman Rhee, a staunch anti-communist, was supported by the UN and the USA. He won a majority of the votes and became the president of the Republic of Korea in 1948. With Rhee in power, it was arranged that the US forces were to withdraw from South Korea by 1949. However, Rhee's rule was authoritarian and he was ruthless in putting down any opposition to his rule. Despite this, Rhee was still supported by the USA as they saw him as useful in preventing communist influence from spreading to South Korea. Over at North Korea, the Soviet Union refused to hold elections as it wanted to ensure communist dominance. With Soviet support, it established a communist Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or North Korea, with Kim Il-sung as its leader. It was also arranged that the Soviet forces were to withdraw from North Korea by the end of 1948. Hence, these developments resulted in the USA and the Soviet Union supporting two separate Korean leaders. Both Syngman Rhee in the south and Kim Il-sung in the north were convinced that the whole of Korea should be united under one rule, and both of them were determined that this united Korea should be under their own sole control and were willing to use violence if necessary. Therefore, it is not surprising that their determination drove them to make decisions which made the outbreak of Korean War possible. Now we have come to the end of the e-lecture on how the role of individual Korean leaders contributed to the outbreak of the Korean War. In the next lecture, we will then examine how the role of the superpowers also led to the Korean War. When we meet in class, we will be considering this structured essay question. So please do read your textbook page 40 to 41 before coming to class. Thank you for listening to this e-lecture and make sure you have completed your accompanying notes.